Hey everybody, welcome back. This is what happens when your ex
is an evil genius.
Are we broken up?
She sent me a picture of an ultrasound scan.
And bro broke into my house.
Ask and you shall receive. So I officially started dating this guy back in November of last year, and we had been talking for a whole month prior to becoming official. We spent a lot of time together, went on really cute dates, and pretty early on in the relationship, I started spending the weekends with him. Our weekends were pretty routine, so it was something that I got used to and thoroughly enjoyed. Like, I was very happy in this relationship. And honestly, I would say he was happy too, or at least I thought. But he was going through some hardships financially and socially, and I was there for him. I did everything I could to support him in any way that he would allow me to support him. We had a really sweet and cute 2-part date. The first night, he took me to a really fancy dinner. We got dressed up, and I loved it. And then the second night, he made us dinner, decorated his apartment all cute, and then we went downtown to the Art Institute. And there I was on top of the world because I thought I finally found someone who was willing to put in the effort for me. And I appreciated it because I hadn't been used to that before. Well, a week later, he had a job interview in another state, and that is when everything changed. Like that, like the flip of a switch. On his drive back here, over Snapchat, he's like, I have doubts about our relationship. And I said, whoa, where is this coming from? And he was like, well, you like pets and I don't, and you don't seem to be religious enough, and blah, 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 blah. But I was like, I'm at work, right? And I'm like crying because I'm so confused where this came from.
Why were the doubts in the relationship not pointed out when he needed something from you? So you have doubts about the relationship, but not enough doubts to accept a handout. That rhymed. Maybe I'm an evil genius. I know, I'm a little too good at that. Go on.
A few days later, he picked me up, took me to dinner, drove me back home, and that was when he said, I think I need some space. And I was like, okay. Thinking, he's just got to get his head straight because he said that he was going through a lot mentally and he just wasn't feeling motivated. So I understood, I really care about and advocate for mental health. 10 seconds after he pulled out of the driveway, he stopped sharing his location with me. I was like, whoa, that was quick. So I was in shock at this point. So I was genuinely confused and lost because I didn't know what this meant for our relationship, seeing as he had 2 surgeries planned for the next week and I was supposed to take care of him. He refused my help and instead had his mom drive up from 8 hours away, and she was taking care of him for a couple days. Well, once she left, he was still in a lot of pain, and so I, out of the kindness of my heart, went to the store, picked him up some things, got him some food and a smoothie one night, and then dropped it off at his apartment without him knowing that I was there. And his mom had said to me in a message, it's so sweet of you to be willing to help after he just broke your heart. And that was the moment that I was like, are we broken up? I still had hope at this point because I thought needing space meant he just needed to get his mind right, and did not mean, oh, we're done.
No, bestie. For those of you who are unaware, when someone says they need space, that's a breakup. That is translation.
Breakup.
Oh, man. They do like to keep us hanging on, though. It's like, it's not enough for them to, say overtly,
Oh, I want to break up with you.
because they still, they might need something from you at some point. Or maybe, they might, whatever they're doing might not work out. So they, keep you hanging on, dangle that carrot in front of you, just in case. Keeping the options open.
So after a week and a half, maybe, I was like, look, I need to know what's going on. Should I come pick my stuff up from your apartment? Or, what's the deal? And that's when he told me he was going to be moving out of the state in a couple days. And I was like, pardon me? And he said he was going to drop my stuff off because of the way that life was taking us. So I actually met up with him in a parking lot of Walmart to get my stuff back from him. And it took all of 2 minutes. He didn't want to have a conversation with me. He knew that I was going to get emotional, and he was like, deuces. Shortly after, I realized he had not given me everything, and that's why I wanted to go pack my stuff up because I knew he was going to forget all my bathroom stuff. So I texted him and I was like, hey, all my stuff is still in the bathroom. Can I come pick it up tomorrow before you leave, or will you drop it off? He didn't respond till the next morning, and all he did was send me a picture of my stuff on the floor of the lobby of his apartment. The amount of disrespect you have to have for somebody to do that is just beyond me. So then he moves, and that's that. I was pretty heartbroken, but I also still kind of had hope. I don't know. I still hadn't gotten that confirmation that we were like done. Fast forward 2 or 3 weeks, and I do a little snooping, right? I went to go and follow him on TikTok, and I looked at his following list, and I saw that there was another young woman who he had followed most recently. I was like, wow, this girl is beautiful and probably is my replacement because we resemble each other. So as girls do, I snooped on her Instagram as well, and he had been liking her posts, and she saw that I was viewing her stories, so she finally reached out to me one day, and she's like, hey, do we know each other? I saw you viewing my stuff, and we have a mutual friend, besides my ex at this point. And then I just came clean. I told her, I was like, look, I think you're talking to my ex who didn't really break up with me, and there are things that I feel like I should warn you about just looking at my relationship retrospectively because she and I had so much in common. And to my surprise, she was super, super sweet, had a conversation with me, called me on the phone while I was crying, and she was like disgusted by the way he treated me. And after I told her one thing, she was like, oh, so you guys were actually dating? And I said, yeah, we were actually dating. She goes, he told me that you went on like 4 dates. What the So anywho, to sum it all up, he lied about our relationship after not breaking up with me officially. And then as soon as I caught him in this lie, he blocked me on everything. So that's my story.
What did I tell you?
What did I say? I said there's somebody else, correct?
I knew it. The minute that he was like, out of nowhere.
Oh, we don't like this. We don't like pets. We don't have that in common. This is just very foundational. We must agree on that.
Okay, it's not like politics, you know what I mean? That's not necessarily what I would call something you have to agree on. As soon as he said that, that's what people do when they meet somebody else, and the person that they're seeing, it's like they come up with all these things, and it's like they're weighing their options. All right, noted from the comments. We'll say it again just in case everybody is not in the loop. When someone tells you they want space, they don't want to be with you. Sad but true. When someone loves you, they can't stand the thought of being without you. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are quite critical of this girl in the comments saying what the f***, he stopped sharing his location after he said he needed space. Yeah, girl, you were broken up. But hey, if you haven't had experience in something like this, you wouldn't necessarily know that. Oh, I need space is still kind of leaving the door open on his behalf. Moving on.
Story time on how my ex-girlfriend cheated on me with a guy, got pregnant, and tried to convince me that the baby was mine. Right, you lot were hounding me for this one. You lot took it to the DMs and all sorts. So yeah, I'm just going to share this story. I met this girl out once. So I was out gay clubbing, and started talking to this girl. We exchanged numbers. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. She was fire. Like beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And we got talking. Now, as soon as we started kind of talking on the phone, the first red flag was she started trauma dumping. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like trauma dumping is a big red flag.
Yep,
and
it is.
I must say, the level of mental health we're dealing with here is super severe. So please bear that in mind as I tell this story. And obviously, yeah, the thought process and everything was just all messed up. So we got talking. Now, there was always chemistry between us. I'm not going to lie, it was very strong, very strong. But pretty early on, I kind of noticed that, yeah, she weren't okay, let's just say. And when I had met her, she was actually in a relationship at the time. And I don't know if you have any of those friends where you can see how they are in a relationship and you just know you will never go there. You just think, I will never go there. It can't work. And our friendship was very turmoil. We would argue, we'll make up again, argue. And just to give you an idea to the extent of it, every time we argued, for example, we won't speak for weeks, sometimes a couple months. And it would always end up in her threatening me. She would always threaten to unalive me. I'm not joking. She would turn up at my house sometimes and, try and pop my tires, try and smash up my yard. She was all over the place. So our friendship lasted about 2 years before we started dating. So it was on and off, just crazy. And, I used to have this thing called savior syndrome. Maybe some of you can relate. I've got a big heart. So, I always try to, obviously I'm different now. I can't run that on me now. But, I always try and give people grace. Do you know what I mean? I try and understand where they've come from. you know, and I try not judge their decision makings.
I mean, I would agree that I also have like a bit of like a savior complex. Like I also like to run to the rescue, but like when that ends up being kind of like the basis of your relationship, that's hella toxic. Like that's really, really toxic, because it's just like, not only does this person not know how to exist without playing the victim or being the victim, that is so ingrained in their personality. That is just the foundation of your relationship. It's never going to be like an easy relationship. Not saying that you shouldn't help people that are in need, not saying you shouldn't be there for your friends or your significant other, but like, it can't be all the damn time. Like we can't, that can't be like the source of everything.
Yeah, like I said, she used to she threatened my family as well. She was pretty manipulative, and I'm not trying to speak bad on her. This is just my perspective. Like I said, I always made sure that I never done anything physical with her, as in I never put myself in any compromising situations. I never let her come around mine. I never went to hers. Every time we met, it was in a public place, because I knew if me and an attractive girl in a room, I just knew it would be game over. So I never put myself in that position, because I just never wanted to go there. So after about 2 years of us having this turmoil friendship, I remember one of my friends had said to me, do you know what, you might as well just give her a chance and date her, because nobody likes her but you. And the reason why she said this, because she also threatened my friends. She used to threaten and call them to unalive them all. I don't know why she wanted to unalive everybody.
Some friend.
And it sounds crazy. And look, I know you lot, obviously that last TikTok I made, you lot were laughing, kiki and carking, but it was actually very traumatic, guys. I'm not even joking.
Sorry.
And so one of my friends had convinced me, like, look, just give her a chance, because why not? Like, you guys have been friends for 2 years now. I still blame my friend till this day. I thought, you know what, maybe she's right. So cut a long story short, we kind of started seeing each other. Now, I had gone over to her house. It's the first mistake I made. And obviously, you know, went to her house and we done adult things, you know, as it happens.
Adult things.
And then the next red flag for me, well, this was like the third or fourth red flag. She told me like she had loved me the next day, which I found that very uncomfortable. I kind of messed up with this situation. But I kind of, you know, dipped my foot in it. So I thought, I'm just going to see this through now. So we started dating and we were officially together. Now, we didn't date long, by the way. It was like 6 weeks. That's how much I could have taken of this girl. Now, the first time we started dating, I remember she started talking to this other stud. Now, I knew this stud and she was obsessed with this stud, and I couldn't understand why. And to cut a long story short, she ended up cheating on me first time with this stud. Like, and the reason and the way I found that out was because I remember I was at her place one time and she kept saying, oh, you know, can you meet her? Can you meet her? So I already know who the girl is, and it was pissing me off that you're obsessed with this girl. So she admitted to me that the girl liked her, but she pretended that she didn't like the girl. And then I said, I feel uncomfortable with your friendship, so I didn't want her to be friends with the girl anymore. And then 1 minute she'll say, okay, I won't be friends with her. And then 2-3 days later she'll be like, no, I really want to be friends with her. So it got to a point where I said, you know what, do what you want. Like, I can't deal with this. I kind of just broke up off with her, yeah. And then she called me a few days later crying, threatening to unalive me again. My life was threatened many times. And then I thought to myself, look, I know she's cheated on me, but I need to figure out how it's true. So I said to her, look, you got one chance to admit the truth to me. If I find out you're lying, you will never, ever have me again. And she panicked and obviously admitted to it, and I was fuming.
So a good way to do this is to just say,
I know everything, so you might as well come clean.
you don't know everything. You just have like an inkling. You have, you know, the spidey senses are like, I know you're cheating. All you have to do is just say, I know everything. So you might as well just tell me. Especially if you like know the person who, like, you have like an inkling of like who they might have cheated with. Bring the name up.
We had broken up at this point, so this is the first time she cheated on me. She cheated on me twice, as far as I know. Hey, it could have been many times, I don't know. Now, when we broke up, we had been broken up about 4 weeks at this time. This girl was texting me, calling me. So many numbers I've had to block, so many Instagrams I've had to block. Like, she was just crying. 1 minute she'll be trying to graft me, then the next minute threatening to unalive me again. It just kept going on and on. And then one day she must have messaged me a picture of an ultrasound scan. Now, guys, I don't know anything about babies. I don't even know like
trapping you,
how many weeks you can get an ultrasound scan. But she sent me a picture of an ultrasound scan, and I was like, what? And I was just like taken back by it. And you know that feeling when you get like a picture, your heart starts doing pitter patter, yeah. And I thought to myself, I'm not gonna lie, and maybe some of my lesbianos out there can relate. Just think about it, girls, yeah? Think about it. If you've dealt with a girl and you suddenly get a picture of like a scan, an ultrasound scan, just for a second, don't judge me, guys, just for a second, I thought, right, is that mine? Like, just for 0.1, just for 0.1 of a second, I thought, is that mine? And I said, what's this? So she mentioned, I'm pregnant. Now, how are you pregnant? Because you cheated on me with a girl, so I don't understand where this guy, what guy was involved, you know what I mean? So, at this point, she must have been calling me. I said, why are you calling me? She's like, I'm pregnant. I said, what's that got to do with me? She's like, yeah, it's yours. I just hung up. I was pissed. And I said, furthermore, how many weeks are you? She says to me, 6 weeks. So I'm there like, doing up calculations like, wait, we've been broken up for 4 weeks at this point. And you're telling me you're 6 weeks pregnant. So that means you must have got with someone.
While you were together.
Do you know what I mean? We were together. I was upset, but it was so much drama. I was just kind of like, I wanted to be done with it, innit? Till this day, she still calls me. She still creates, I don't know how many Instagram accounts I've probably blocked of hers, maybe 15. How many numbers of hers I've blocked? Too many.
So, like, couple things. The trauma dumping and wanting to, like, save her, that is one thing that most people would, like, not really pick up on unless you've, like, experienced it in the past. And you're like, okay. Too much, too soon, okay? However, when your friend said, quote, unquote,
might as well give her a chance. Nobody likes her but you.
That's not your friend. That's not your friend.
no, but why did you believe her for that second? Babes, it's not possible. It's not possible. And the fact that she thought that that could trap you, like that might work for a guy. It wouldn't work in this situation. I'm sorry. I'm pregnant. It's yours. How is that possible? I have an egg. You have an egg. Together, the eggs are just two eggs. Oh my goodness. May this type of love never find me. Please. I don't want it ever.
My ex broke into my house after we broke up. Story time. Before you ask, no, this is not about KGH. This happened like a couple years ago. I'm just telling you guys because I'm bored. Thinking back to this, that's kind of like sad. I was just an innocent little victim. I'm all a damsel in distress. Okay, so backstory. I dated this guy like hella long ago. At the time, I was so in love with him, I thought I was gonna marry him. Thinking back to that now, it looks like I dodged a bullet. But anyways, yeah, we were in love. Or maybe I was just dumb. I don't know. Me and this boy ended up breaking up because of something stupid. Like, I literally couldn't tell you the whole reason why we broke up. We would, like, break up, make up. It was, like, one of those stupid relationships. Well, this time was the last time he was gonna break up with me because I told myself, one more time this happens, I'm not taking him back. I don't care how much I love him. We keep on having this stupid little fight every single time. I'm sick and tired of it. One more time and I'm done. He ended up doing it one more time and I said, you're done. So he actually ended up breaking up with me, which is crazy because literally all our friends thought that I was the one who broke up with him, and I was like, no, he literally broke up with me, and everyone was like, is he stupid? And I was like, I don't think so. He broke up with me, and then 3 hours later he comes calling my phone, begging me, baby, please don't break up with me, baby, please take me back, I miss you. It's literally been 3 hours. You already switch up that fast? I don't want to be with a man who doesn't know what he wants. Sorry. No, but really I wasn't having it. We would break up just to make up, and I was like, I'm just over it. Like, play those games with somebody else. I'm too old for this.
People like that. It's weird.
Yeah, I wasn't the one who broke up with him. I was just the one who made sure we stayed broken up.
Honestly, like, if you're in one of these types of relationships where you're just constantly breaking up, like, not only is it toxic for you, but it's also so annoying. Like, as a friend, to, like, have a friend that's in one of these relationships where, like, you know, you're fighting in public with your significant other and you're always breaking up and there's always drama. After a little while, it's kind of like, well, how many times do I have to tell you that he's not good for you? And how many times are you gonna go back to that person and ignore what I said? At that point, it's kind of like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. You know, like, unless you're, you know, in danger or something and you need help, I just genuinely, like, if you can't make good enough choices, I don't want to be the person that you run to and cry to. Like, please spare me. Like, spare me!
So anyways, me and him are like broken up for like 5 months or whatever. Keep in mind, this whole time, he's still actively trying to pursue. He's still trying to get me back. He wants to give me the moon and stars. And I'm just like, dude, I want that, just not from you. We were together for a while, in my opinion, a little bit too long. I saw his toxic traits and I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. That's nasty.
It is.
Obviously, during that time, like 5-6 months, we're already broken up. I started talking to somebody else. And this made him go. He should have been checked into a hospital with all the things that he started to do to me. Like, I'm telling you, he would blow up my phone, threaten to himself, stalk my family. Like, he was insane. Or was he just in love? Anyway, Valentine's Day comes around. This is only a couple weeks after... No, it was literally 1 week after my best friend had passed away. Rest in peace, Mia. I love you. And I had decided to see the new guy I was talking to at the time because, obviously I was his Valentine. He lived like an hour away from me. We spent the whole day together. I didn't end up leaving his house until like 11 p.m. Remember how I said he lived an hour away from me? I didn't get home until 12 a.m. So I get home and everything seemed fine. I saw my cat and I was like, you know what? I'm just ready to go to sleep. I had a long day. So I go into my room and turn on the light. And guess who's sitting in the corner all creepy like a Mr. Wannabe Edward Cullen? It was giving very much deleted scenes in Twilight. Creepy. Not only was he sitting in the corner all creepy, but he also decorated my whole room with pictures of me and him. When I say whole room, I mean like he had pictures of us on my bed. He had balloons with pictures of us. It was like a whole museum in there. The only thing I could think to say to him was, oh my god, this is like so thoughtful of you. Like, girl, what was I gonna say? He also had I wasn't trying to say anything to get me gonna thank him and then move on. He was like, wow, you really love it? I was like, yeah, this is literally the sweetest thing a man has ever done for me.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Someone broke into my house. Please pick me up. And when he found out that I came from the other guy's house, let's just say I'm lucky I'm alive. That was a little dramatic, but to be fair, he did break into my house.
Oh my goodness. It's the sitting there in the corner in the dark for me. Not you sitting in the corner. I was expecting you. I've been expecting you. Je téléphone à la police! Je téléphone à la police. On speed dial. At that point, you can literally just do this thing on your phone and you just like you don't even have to dial nothing anymore. You just do this. Just emergency call that. Emergency call. Just leave it on. Somehow work it into the conversation where you live. You will go to jail. He will go to jail and you can escape the clutches.
Sitting there all shocked, like I don't know what to say, except for, wow, Victor, you really did this for me?
Victor, you asked Victor!
No, but for reals, I was low-key scared because we've been broken up for 5 months. And bro broke into my house, sat in my room for hours, and posted basically a shrine of me and him all over my room. I just remember him getting up and hugging me, and he was like, do you love it? And I was just like, yeah, this is like the sweetest thing ever. As I was texting my dad, telling him I'm scared. So I'm just sitting there chit-chatting with him, trying to not make it awkward because bro had anger issues. Me and him had a really toxic relationship, and I was like, I don't want him to just flip a switch on me. But it ended up happening anyways because tell me why he found out that I came from the other guy's house. Before I get into that, let me just tell you guys how he got in. Me and him are chit-chatting and everything. I was like, so how did you get into my house? It was all locked up. And he says this so casually. He was like, oh, your window. Your window, obviously. Like, yeah, obviously, like my window. Like, dude, what? Got it. My house was a little elevated, so my window was really high up. Like, if I wanted to break into my own house, I would have physically had to grab something, like a stool or something, just to get up to touch my window. It was up here. Like, it wasn't a 2-story, but it was pretty high. He told me he grabbed my neighbor's bricks that they had sitting on the side of their house, and he got a few of them and stacked them on top of each other
not the bricks.
to be able to get into my window. My bro was already like 6'4". So if he had to use bricks just to climb up to my window, that should give you an estimation of how high it was. So then, here's the weird part. Well, I mean, it's already weird. But here's the even weirder part. He was like, so where have you been? I've been here for like 4 hours. What were you doing all day?
4 hours.
Remember how I told you guys I was with the other guy? The whole day, we went hiking, we had a whole day, we had a date planned. That's what I was doing. But obviously, I didn't want to tell him that because, like, dude just broke into my house. I'm low-key scared, like, what are my next steps? What do I do?
Police!
And I just look at him and I'm like, I'm honestly a very bad liar. I'm like, I was just enjoying the day. Nothing special. I went hiking. I got food. And then he interrupted me and he was like, you were with him, weren't you?
Yes.
You were with him, weren't you?
Yes.
Literally broke down. I was just like, yeah, I saw him. I went on a date. But like, why are you in my house? We've been broken up for 6 months. Blah, 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 blah. Just ranting. And then he just looks at me and he was just like, all you women are the same. I can't even look at you right now. I'm disgusted.
I mean, when you say that all women are the same, do we break into everyone's house? Do we act like a psycho with all of our girlfriends and then we're surprised that they're scared of us and don't want to be with us? Because yes, in that aspect, I would say that all women are the same. I would also be scared in this situation and je téléphone à la police. Okay?
Oh, you women, you're all the same. Just let me break into your house and act psychotic.
You can't look at me. You shouldn't even be in my house right now. You wouldn't have to look at me if you didn't break in.
Period.
My stepdad was on his way regardless. So he was either going to leave by force or by his own free will. It was his choice. I was like, dude, my stepdad's on his way here right now. So if you don't leave in like 20 minutes, he's going to show up and escort you out. He just looks at me with disgust and he's just like, it's fine. I'm not even going to cause a scene. You're not even
thank
worth
you.
it.
Thank
He
you.
asked me, I think he was mad. So he ended up leaving before my stepdad got there. But I was just like, oh my God, I thought that was my last day on earth. To be fair, he should have known not to do that. Like, one, that's creepy, and two, I've already had a lot of very weird experiences in my life, like stalker experiences. So obviously that's gonna freak me out. Even though that happened years ago, to this day, I make sure to lock every single window in my house. At least I slayed my makeup. Hasta luego.
I like how nonchalant you are about it.
It's giving obsessed. It's giving desperate. But like, look at me though. Like, I totally understand why.
I mean, look at her though. Like, let's have a gander at her. If you haven't been gandering at her, like, look at that. Look at that. Look how pretty she is. And she's funny. Like, I'd be obsessed too. Maybe I am a little bit. I'm not gonna climb any windows anytime soon, but I think she's cute. That must mean he likes you. You know, people like ice cream. People like pizza. People like cute little forehead kisses. I would say that this is a little more than like.
Oh my lord.
I don't know if anybody's ever gotten to this point in a breakup, but like if you have to like beg somebody to be with you and break into their house and like wait for them for 4 hours, it's not meant to be. Like, this is not some nice grand gesture that they're gonna want you back. It's giving stalker, okay? It's giving stalker. Don't be begging nobody to be with you, okay? Have some self-respect. This has been Charlotte Dobre's. Don't be obsessed with people who don't like you. Subscribe!